Brace yourselves, Bears News fan report faithful, because today's whisper could shake Soldier Field to its core. Hit that like button and subscribe if you believe Chicago's defense is on the brink of a seismic shift. Imagine this. You're watching tape from last season, seeing sack after sack rattle our rookie quarterback's confidence, hearing the groans from the crowd every time the pass rush smothers our protections. The need for an edge rusher who can strike fear into opposing offenses has never been more urgent. Could this be the moment when Ryan Poles decides enough is enough and pulls the trigger on the kind of move that changes a franchise's trajectory? Is he ready to empty the toolbox to send a message that the Bears aren't just rebuilding? They're coming for blood. What if that missing piece, the warrior who hunts quarterbacks with the precision of a hawk, just became available? Picture the psychology of an opponent seeing our defensive ends lining up, knowing that one of them has led the league in sacks and carries the aura of a proven champion. The mere possibility of such a pairing would force offenses to game plan differently, to double-team on every snap, to surrender chip shots for fear of a blindside blitz. Remember when we watched our secondary bend and break under relentless pressure, when our front line cracked like thin ice under the weight of Viking and Packer pass rushers? The fear in the locker room was palpable. The hum of uncertainty echoed in every huddle. Now, imagine that fear flipped. Imagine our opponents quaking at the thought of facing a duo capable of registering 25-plus sacks combined. Could that psychological edge alone tilt the field in Chicago's favor? Use your imagination. It's early June, and word leaks out that the Bears are in deep talks with a 7-year veteran whose sack totals read like a cheat code. A player whose reputation for relentless effort and technical mastery has earned him Pro Bowl nods and the respect of every blocker in the league. Could this be the Monsters of the Midway revival we've been begging for? Statistics tell part of the story. Last season, he notched 14 sacks, forced fumbles, and tackles for loss that swung games in Cincinnati's favor. Yet those numbers only scratch the surface of his impact. His film room leadership, his mentorship of younger teammates, the way he studies tendencies until an opponent's playbook looks like his own. Fans around the league are buzzing, speculating that the Bears have offered a second-round pick and a conditional fourth-rounder to pry this disruptor from the Queen City. Is that haul steep? Perhaps, but when you consider the cost of another lost season of unfulfilled potential and dwindling hope, the price seems like pure investment in a future of contention. Of course, there's risk. He's entering his 30s, and durability questions could hover like storm clouds over Soldier Field. What if a nagging knee tweak sidelines him in December, leaving us scrambling for a backup? Would the front office hedge with performance, incentives, structuring a deal that rewards double-digit sacks and postseason victories? Only insiders know the details of these negotiations, yet the sensation in the air is undeniable. Foreboding mixed with exhilaration, the kind you feel when a long-awaited hero steps to the edge of the battlefield. Now, the moment of truth looms. The Bears faithful are on tenterhooks, waiting for the name to drop, the player who could ignite this defense and revive prairie nostalgia of fearsome front lines. And here it comes. Trey Hendrickson, the relentless edge rusher who terrorized. Quarterbacks across the AFC might soon be donning navy and orange. Will he sign on the dotted line and join forces with Montez Sweat to form the fiercest pass rush tandem in the league? Or will the cap calculus and draft capital demands send Poles back to the drawing board? Stick with us, because the answer to that question could define the next chapter of Bears football, and the roar of Soldier Field may never be the same. If you believe the Bears are finally waking up and ready to roar back into contention, smash that like button and let's finish what we started. Imagine the scene. Soldier Field under the glowing afternoon sun. Fans on their feet as the Bears' defense strides onto the field, their edges bristling with lethal intent. If Trey Hendrickson slides onto that line opposite Montez Sweat, we're not just talking about adding another pass rusher. We're talking about forging an identity so fearsome that opponents will shiver at the sight of our colors. Think back. To the monsters of the Midway, that legendary defense whose mere presence dictated game plans, this duo could resurrect that aura of invincibility. With Hendrickson's 14-sack prowess augmented by Sweat's bulldozer strength, Chicago wouldn't simply generate pressure, it would own the line of scrimmage, forcing quarterbacks into hurried decisions that spell turnovers and momentum shifts. Consider the impact on our young quarterback. No longer will he have to dance in the pocket under duress. Instead, he'll survey a field swollen with opportunity, ready to unleash bombs to rookie phenoms and seasoned playmakers alike. The ripple effect extends to the entire roster. Offensive confidence surges when the defense delivers consistent stops. Special teams feed off that energy, and even the coaching staff can unleash more aggressive play calling, knowing the margins for error have narrowed. Could this be the spark that reignites the entire franchise? We've endured years of rancor, seasons where halftime leads evaporated under relentless pressure. But with Hendrickson's relentless motor and Sweat's punishing technique, Chicago's defense could flip from a liability into a championship-winning force. We've seen near misses before. The 2018 squad that flirted with greatness before collapsing in playoff heartache. The 2021 team that teased promise but buckled under third quarter blitzes. This time, though, the difference is experience married to hunger. Hendrickson arrives not as a raw rookie but as a seasoned antagonist whose 9-year career boasts 4 Super Bowl rings and countless game-changing plays. He's walked the path of glory, and now he brings that championship mindset to a franchise, starved for postseason glory. Imagine the message sent to the locker room when a proven winner steps up and declares, "I want this." Doesn't that alone inject belief into every linebacker, cornerback, and defensive back that they too can be part of something special? Let's not ignore the numbers. In 2024, Hendrickson's pressure rate ranked in the top 5 of all edge defenders, and his quarterback hits turned broken plays into highlight reel chaos. Meanwhile, Montez Sweat's brute force accounted for over 70 quarterback disruptions. Together, that's over 150 snaps of havoc each week, snaps that could translate into game-altering fumbles, goal line stands, and momentum swings. And what of the ripple through the draft? If the Bears lock in this pair, the front office might shift focus to shoring up the secondary or adding playmakers on offense, knowing that the pass rush is effectively bulletproof. Could this reallocation of resources accelerate our rebuild, catapulting us into the playoff conversation sooner than anyone expected? History offers tantalizing parallels. Remember when the 1985 Bears unleashed their defensive juggernaut and steamrolled opponents en route to a Super Bowl crown? The legend of that team still echoes through Chicago's streets, a standard we've longed to match. What if Hendrickson's signing is the opening move in a modern retelling of that saga? One where our defense once again becomes the nucleus of a championship run. Fan chants of "bear down" would resonate with renewed ferocity. Rival offenses would scheme around containing the duo rather than that one pass catcher, and every home game would feel like a high-stakes playoff atmosphere. Of course, the ledger still balances risk and reward. At 31, durability questions linger, and every contract negotiation carries the specter of cap implications. But if Poles and the Bears' brain trust craft a deal that matches performance incentives with team success, they'll mitigate that risk while cementing a culture of accountability. In that scenario, Hendrickson isn't just a player. He's the catalyst for a defensive renaissance, a veteran whose presence washes over the locker room like a bolt of Chicago lightning. So here we stand, Bears faithful, at the brink of transformation. The rumor mill churns, the draft board shifts, and the whispers around Halas Hall grow louder each day. Will Trey Hendrickson sign on the dotted line and unleash a new era of defensive dominance? Or will the calculus of draft picks and cap space force the Bears to chart another course? One thing is certain, the next chapter in Bears history demands our full attention and unwavering support. The roar of the crowd awaits, The banners are ready to fly, and all that's left is for Chicago to seize the moment. Go Bears!